Hi, my name is Nick. I'm the lead developer at Accounting Add-ons, and today I'll show you how to create a cash flow statement using BudgetLink. We'll go through and create an account hierarchy. We'll show you how to map your chart of account to that cash flow hierarchy you've created. We'll install the report, and we'll also show you how to run that report. But before we do all that, let's have a look at what the cash flow statement looks like in BudgetLink. Alright, so I've got the report open in BudgetLink. You'll notice that it shows you your chart of account going down the page, as well as the months going across the page. Your chart of account is going to be broken down into various sections, being your operating activities, your investing activities, and your financing activities. If we scroll a bit down, you'll also notice your opening bank balance, as well as it'll show you your total closing bank balance. The chart of account you're currently seeing is not a traditional profit and loss or balance sheet. It's actually an intermingling of both sets of numbers. If we scroll up, you'll notice that you've got income, expenses, prepaid expenses. You'll also notice accounts receivable, payables, and inventories. This chart of account that you're seeing doesn't actually come from your accounting package. It is a chart of account that got created using the account hierarchies functionality of BudgetLink. So we actually got the control of determining what rows we want to include and how we want to lay down those accounts on the report. From this, once you create the hierarchy, you can actually go through and map your chart of account from MYOB, Xero, Quickbooks into that account hierarchy that you've defined, so that you actually got the control of determining what you want to see and how you want to see it on the report, as well as how to translate your chart of account that's native in your accounting package to this layout that you want to use for this report. Now that you know what the report will look like, let's go through and create that account hierarchy and show you how to map your chart of accounts to the hierarchy we'll create. What I'll do now is I'll go back to the menu. I'll go to the 30-dot settings workbook, which is right there, and I'll scroll down until I find the account hierarchy section, which is right there. So I'll click on that, and that'll bring me to the account hierarchy screen. You'll notice there's two buttons, one to manage your account hierarchies and one to edit the mapping. We'll first start with managing your account hierarchy. From this screen you can actually define multiple account hierarchies. For the purpose of this example, we'll just create a single one, so I'll press the Add Account Hierarchy button. I'll start off by entering the account hierarchy name. I'll call it Cashflow Hierarchy. I'll leave the description blank, and for the type, rather than being a standard profit and loss and balance sheet, I'll choose Cash Flow. You'll notice that the tabs available of the different account categories have changed. I'm up to defining the various accounts in the cash flow hierarchy, and I'll start by the Bank tab. I'll hit the Add Account button, and I'll define an account called Bank Accounts. I'll enter that for the account number and name and choose OK. If you are interested in seeing multiple bank accounts, you can go through and repeat the process and add any number of accounts that you need. For the purpose of my exercise, I'm only interested in a single bank account's header account, and I'll just leave it as a single one. I'll move over to the Operating tab, and I'll repeat the same process. The first account I want is my operating activities. I'll enter that in for both the account number and name. And the next account I want is the income accounts. I'll type that in for both account number and name, and under parent account I'll choose operating activities. When I click OK, you'll notice that the income accounts is indented under operating activities. Now I'll repeat the same process for all the accounts I'll need to add, and after this you'll see what the chart of account looks like. I've gone through and defined all the accounts that I needed for this chart of account, both for the operating, the investing, and the financing section. And that chart of account is pretty much defined. I can now click OK, and the next step is to actually set up the mapping between this account hierarchy that I've just created and my chart of account coming from, in this case, my MYOB data file. You'll notice the Edit Mapping button on this screen here, and what I'll do is I'll click on that. It'll bring me to this screen that shows me my account hierarchy that I've defined on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side you can actually see the original chart of account coming from my MYOB data file. What I need to do now is map the two hierarchies together. I'll select my income accounts, and what I'll do is I'll scroll on the right hand side until I find the incomes I want to include. In this case I want to include the 4-all zeros income account, and I'll simply map all those accounts to that one line. I'll repeat the same process for all the accounts that are on my left hand side until I've fully mapped the whole chart of account that's on the right hand side. It's taken a little while, but I finished mapping my account hierarchy. The only account I haven't mapped is the current earnings account. The reason that is I've already mapped all the profit and loss accounts from the income, the cost of sales, the expenses, and if I were to map the current earnings as well, I would double up the profit and loss figures. So I've left that one unmapped on the right hand side. Now that I've finished, it's time to run the report. I'll click OK, close on this dialog, and I'll start off the Get Data process. The get data process has finished, and in theory we're good to run the report. Now on new installations of BudgetLink, that report is not included in the default menu, and I'll show you right now how to include that report so that it shows up in the menu. I've skipped ahead and gone back to the main menu. Now from the main menu, there's a 35 help workbook, and if you open that up, you'll see a links page. That stores various important links that the software uses. The one we want is the system folder. If we click on that, that'll open up the main system folder with all the different subfolders that are installed with BudgetLink. We'll need to go to the products folder, BudgetLink, reports, and that stores all the different reports that are pre-shipped by BudgetLink but not necessarily installed. The one we want is the Cashflow report, and it's in the Cashflow folder, and it's called 29. Monthly Cashflow Statement Report Pack. We'll right click on that and choose to copy, and if we go back to the main system folder and right click and paste it, we've installed it. Now I can now close this window, and if I return back to the main menu, you'll see that the 29 report is now in the menu. We can now go ahead and use the report. So I'll click on the report. It's made up of a single sheet called Monthly Cashflow Statement, and I'll click on that. Now by default the report won't show me anything. And the reason that is that we haven't chosen the account hierarchy that we want. So I'll go up to the top and I'll choose Customize. And here you can see Cashflow Hierarchy, the second entry. And what we'll do is we'll choose to run the report for the Cashflow Hierarchy, which is the one we've just defined. Choose that, click OK, and hey presto, the Cashflow statement with the hierarchy we've defined is showing up. We've come to the end of the video showing how to create a Cashflow statement using BudgetLink. I've shown you the report, shown you how to create your account hierarchy and map your chart of account to it, as well as how to install the report and run it the first time. There's extra things I haven't covered, such as how to run the report on a cash basis, but I'll leave those for a different video. The main thing to remember, if you've got any questions, feel free to contact us. I'm sure we can help. Cheers. See ya.